All right, cool. No questions, and I'll go on to the next. So what I'm going to be looking at now is the breakout strategy. We kind of briefly talked about that. That's the one we're looking at for Duke Energy. So the breakout, the overview of breakout refers to, when the price of a stock moves above a resistance area and continues to move higher. And then we're going to be finding stocks that are trying to break out. And we use different states when we're looking at that, different states within Delphian. They also have to have moved up above the upper Keltner channel and the upper Bollinger Band. So this will help you find when some of those movements or the momentum is going to carry that stock higher into that breakout category. The trade theory, again, is kind of what we just said. I mean, when the stock price breaks above the upper Bollinger Band or the upper Keltner channel, there's a lot of upward momentum in the stock. But when we use both of those indicators together, the Bollinger Band and the Keltner channel, then we believe we might be able to get a much stronger indication of that upward movement. Along with that, we're going to be adding another confirmation in there, which is going to be looking at stocks that are only in certain states within the platform: state 1, state 2, state 3, and state 7. So you can see state 1, 3, and 7 are all bullish states. State 2 in this scenario we're typically using as a temporary pullback. So we're looking for the stock possibly coming down and seeing if we can actually get into it on that bottom or that little dip, if you will. The trade theory, so again, we're using these three different signals when we're looking at the breakout strategy. The close price has to be greater than the upper Bollinger Band, and the Bollinger Bands are going to be set at 2 standard deviations for 30 days. The close price has to cross above the upper Keltner channel, and that's set at 2 times ATR for 30 days. And then again, we talked about the state modeling 1, 2, 3, and 7. Stop loss or the target has to not have been met within that state. So scratch this portion, I think, and then just look at target 1 and stop loss 1 has not been met in any of those states for this signal to be valid. So all 3 of these have to come together at the same time, same day, and when they do, that's when you're going to get this breakout strategy within the study section of the platform. Josh went over the Bollinger Bands. He went over standard deviation as well, so I won't take too much time there. But we can look at, so for the first one, I'm looking at the Bollinger Band, 30 days, 2 standard deviation. You can see here's the date where it broke above and closed above that price. So right here on that Bollinger Band. And then Josh also talked about the Keltner channels. And we can see here, again, on this day, we're looking at it breaking and closing above that 2 ATR for 30 days on the Keltner channel. And again, I'm looking at Walmart as well. State modeling, we talked about that before, so I won't go over that. Here's an example of what you would be seeing. So on 8/27, just like we saw today on the studies for the breakout for Duke, we can see we got these on 8/27. These 4 had come about. Walmart's the one that I'm looking at. We can see all the information here. Walmart at 136. You can get the state. You can do the back test like I just showed you a second ago. You can get all the different data here as well if you wanted to look at that. And then if you clicked on that little X button like I showed before, Walmart, it gives you the long call strategy. Buying the 145 call for 11/20 expiration, 445 would be how much you paid. Again, max profits unlimited. We're always setting these at 25%, but if you've back tested them and you know, like a Facebook or an Apple works better at 100% profit, by all means, if it tests properly, put that in place versus the 25%. That's kind of up to you to be more aggressive if you like. Like Josh said, we can add these to a virtual portfolio. If you wanted to add it to track it, you can add that from that section as well. So here's the breakout, like Josh was showing or talking about earlier. When you're putting the signals together, you can see all of the signals coming together at this particular point is when we'd be looking to actually get into this, to Walmart. This state modeling feature is not there, but that would be portion of that signal as well. So here's your trade entry is on this date, and you can see, stock had a nice little rally shortly thereafter. We're talking about 135, 136, and it broke above 150 in the matter of about 4 trading days. And then you can see here, I mean, if you're looking at the previous chart and you see this signal here, it could look pretty bullish. I'm not a big candlestick reader myself, but it's kind of staying within this range. If you look, it broke above this level, kind of pulled back, So to me, that wouldn't show me much of anything really, but to other people it might, that are actually really good readers of the charts. But I just wanted to show you that looking at this, I wouldn't say, oh, it's a good buy or a good sell, but I would be indifferent. But then when you actually do the trade entry based on the signal or the study we show, you can see had a nice jump up, then it kind of came back down to flat. Actually, it looks like it stayed above that level or even, but somewhat flat after that point, after that nice little spike up. So here's the results. So Walmart long call results, excuse me. You can see that on 8/27 is when the signal had come together. You can see the long call was purchased, the 11/20 expiration, 145 call, paid $4.45 for it. You can see the underlying price of the stock of Walmart was around 136.63. Very next day, that's why it's important to either test it or have some of these exit orders in as GTC so you don't miss it if you're away working or doing something else. Next day, sell order come in, profit target sold the Walmart 145 call at 645. So in one day, the stock jumped from 136 to roughly 140. So pretty quick. So that's your long call results, 445. Since it did have that jump up, you can see we're looking for a 25% profit, but it got out at a $200 profit. Again, end of day data. So it's taking that end of day information, but look here, I mean, you can see end of day would be right here, or excuse me, end of day would be, down at this lower part, but you can see it actually looks like it maybe was up a little bit higher on the day. So the option might have been up a little bit more as well. Strategy results since January 2018, you can see for this particular strategy, total profit, $78,000, almost 79 for this breakout strategy, 1.74 profit factor, win percent 77, pretty good, 2.97 profit per day. You can see the ROR is 0.71%, and it just breaks down the trades here for. Average number of days is 22. And I kind of use these average days to get a good idea of how long should I plan to be in this trade. And if it's a trade, if I'm doing a long call and I'm in this trade for 40 days, I start to think, okay, well, has something in the environment changed that's maybe making this stock not move like it has in the past? Because if the average is 22 days and I'm still in it at day 40, maybe I want to get out or rethink this or look at my strategy again and see if something's going on with Walmart. So just some other little things that I might look at when I see those results like that. But you can see this profit graph here looks pretty good, a little choppy, but for the most part, pretty good steady incline. And then boom, we got this big jump up here in the market, so or in that strategy. So that's the end of that one for that. So any questions on that breakout strategy?
It's Shawn, just a reminder. Yeah, we only do long calls on that breakout.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that to me the other day too. I'm sorry, I forgot. Apologize. All right.
And you guys don't have to remember all the rules of which ones we use. They'll populate in the system. So